guys, what is going on? DOF here. And I wanted to make this video because I seen the other day on this little Glock forum thing that people were posting on one of the social media sites. And what they were basically asking was, do Glock, in particular, magazine springs need cleaned and how often? And there was like, you know, hundreds of different comments for different people, and, you know, everybody had their own little 2 cents to put in. And, you know, I'm sure that this guy was more confused after he read the thread and the answers than what he was when he first posted the question. So thought I'd just go ahead, and I've probably talked about this before, I can't remember. We'll talk a little bit about magazine springs and things also. So the long and short of it is, no, for the most part, no. Glock magazine springs do not need to be specially cleaned and taken apart, and, you know, and done, and this and that done to it. And you definitely don't ever want to put oil or get oil in the magazine spring. You don't ever want to do that. Because that collects and holds any debris or anything or any, you know, dirt that would come in there. So, since I'm telling you that for the long and short of it, you really don't need to clean the Glock magazine springs. Let's go over a little bit of the mechanics, okay? When the gun fires, the slide's locked closed. Most of the carbon, the smoke, and the dirt, most of it go forward. Now, when the slide comes back to chamber a new round, you will have a slight amount that is around there, you know, that is around the magazine. But keep in mind, you have another round underneath the round that it's putting in, or you have the follower there. So it's never open to where like dirt and debris can just fall and blow down in. It's not open like that. Will it get some dust in there? Yeah, it will. It'll get some dust in there. And if you're a guy that wants to be real particular and you say, well, you know what, I want to clean it because that's just the way I am. I detail strip my guns. I enjoy it. Every so often I detail strip it. I clean them. And you really want to do it, I would say 1,000 rounds. You know, if you really, really wanted to nitpick, you could wipe it off every 500 rounds, but for the most part, you're wasting your time. Let's put it this way. Another question that would be asked would be, well, what if you shoot thousands upon thousands of rounds? You know, don't you think that there is a point where it needs cleaned? And my answer to that is still no. And let me explain why. If you shoot enough rounds through a Glock, you know, tens and tens of thousands, you will have to replace a magazine spring before that magazine would be dirty enough to cause a malfunction. So, like, in other words, you would wear out the spring sooner than you would for it to, like, per se, clog up or whatever, you know, because of carbon. Now, there is a couple extenuating circumstances, and I'll go over one, the main one. If you are like doing handgun drills, handgun training, and they got you dropping magazines on the ground in the dirt, rolling around in the dirt, and you think that sand or like a fine dirt might have gotten in your magazine, then definitely yes, you could go ahead then at that point, take it apart and go ahead and clean it. You don't want sand particles in anything. But for the most part, these guys that are asking about cleaning the magazines out, these are guys that are just shooting at the range, and they're not operators, they're not, you know, whatever, police, SWAT, or, you know, most of these guys probably aren't even taking these training classes. But like I said, if you're in a hardcore training class and they got you rolling around on the ground, kicking magazines around, dropping magazines in loose dirt, yeah, then at the end of that class, you could go ahead and wipe that magazine out and make sure there's no sand-like particles in there. Anything that's like a sand-type particle is very hard on anything that moves, any pieces that move. So for the most part, guys, don't even worry about your magazine, about cleaning your magazine springs. And, you know, unless there's something foreign that got in there, which I don't see how that would happen, you would know, you know, how it happened. It's not like you'd just be shooting at the range one day and you've only taken the gun to the range indoors and it's clean for the most part. It's not like just one day that it's going to just clog up with something. So yeah, don't worry about it. And if you do ever want to clean the magazine spring because you're just kind of you're bored, you want to go over it, you want to make sure everything's as clean as it can be on your carry gun, take the spring out and take a cleaning brush, okay? Put a piece of microfiber cloth around the bristles of a nylon cleaning brush that comes with the Glock. Take the empty tube body of the magazine, take that up through the body of the magazine through the tube, okay, wipe that out, and then take the spring and just gently wipe over the spring without pulling it. Don't pull it, don't stretch it, just wipe over that spring and then put it back together. No oils, no cleaners, none of that stuff is needed. So that's it, guys. No real need to mess with your magazine springs. And if you do shoot enough rounds through a gun that you're worried that it's getting packed up with dirt, that magazine spring will need changing out before it ever would get clogged from carbon. All right, guys, until next time, this is DOF. Just hiked 9 miles, and I'm out.